more, and I know that if I did eat a little bit more, it probably would come up. And so that is one of the bad things. I shouldn't say bad, but it's one of the hardest things to get used to compared to the old ways, because you're so used to just shoveling it in. And now, of course, you eat slower. You chew your food really well. I always put my fork down, or whatever I'm eating with a spoon, fork usually. Put it down and try to chew and swallow and not eat for like up to a minute for the next bite to let your food settle. That way, you're not eating as fast and you get full faster. The other part of that is not drinking a half hour before you eat and a half hour after you eat. The water or anything you drink during the mealtime will just push everything through. So, and it'll end up eventually make you hungrier. So I've done pretty well with that. That's kind of hard to get used to too, because you're used to drinking while you eat, and that's another tricky part of the process. But you gotta just do it because you've had the surgery and that's the way it is. And I'm still drinking protein shakes a day and lots of water. I drink a lot of Crystal Light Kool-Aid. Once again, I'm going to talk about the head hunger and your mind control. I believe 80% of this is in your mind. You have to want this, and you have to be able to have the willpower to control yourself on the amounts you're going to eat and how you go about fixing things to eat. And that's a totally different subject than what I'm actually talking about, but I just want to talk about that a little bit. You have to want this, and I'll get to the part about the wanting where it's great in just a little bit, because things certainly change. Okay, how I feel. I feel really good. Some days I have more energy than I've had in a while. Again, I'm down about 63 pounds. So, and I've gone down 5 sizes in pants. So that's a real positive thing. The other positive thing is when you do step on the scale and you lose 3, 4, 5 pounds, or 2 pounds in a few days, or 1 pound or whatever. That's one of the good things. I'm going to say one of the good things there is if you can, try not to step on the scale every day, because sometimes your body plays tricks with you and you don't see a movement going down. It either stays the same, or you might see it go up a pound, and it kind of makes you depressed and wonder if you're doing something wrong. About 3 weeks to a month out after surgery, I had what you call a stall or a plateau, where my weight didn't change for, I want to say, a minimum of 10 days. It might have been a little bit longer than that. And that kind of gets you down, but that's all part of this. And you go through that several different times, I think, not just once or twice. I think that your body has to adjust to the rapid weight loss. And from some of the things I've read and videos I've seen before, just because you're not losing weight pound-wise on the scale doesn't mean you're changing, because your body changes. Just like the time that I basically went through my 10-day plateau, or whatever it was, 2 weeks. During that time, I didn't lose a lot of weight pound-wise on the scale, but my body changed. And then it was a week later, or whatever, I went to buy some pants. I went down 5 sizes in pants. And I mean, I would have never guessed that. I thought maybe I might go down 1 size or 2 sizes tops, but 5 sizes, that was crazy. So that is that's the positive things that you're going to go through once you have this. It makes you feel like you've never felt before. I mean, I've never gone down in a pair, for size-wise in a pair of pants my whole life. It's always been up. And that makes a person feel pretty darn good about this whole process. The other bad thing, again, is the stall. It gets you down a little bit, but you just got to realize that this is part of the process, and that's what's going to happen. And again, the clothes of not fitting, and like you put on a pair of pants, you let go, and they just fall to the floor. It makes you feel amazing. And for those of you that haven't had the surgery and are thinking of it and are going to have it, once you do and you reach that point, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. But before that, you probably can't even realize that can happen, which I didn't either. And one of the other good things about this is, like, I was on high blood pressure medication and things before, and I've been off that since the day of surgery, or the day before surgery. and have not had to go back on it, which is great. I mean, my blood pressure's been in the, it's still a little bit elevated, but way lower than what it would be without, having the medication and stuff before, when it was high and I had to go on a medication. So the blood pressure thing is great, and being able to just have that little, it's not fun having to take blood pressure medication because you're big and fat, and you got to have it because your blood pressure is high. If you don't have it, you have a stroke or a heart attack. So that's a good feeling. Some of the other issues of the bad and the ugly, I would say, is periodically you go through some constipation issues, and I think it's all due to the things you eat, of course, but the protein shakes, I think, they're a little bit thicker. Sometimes if you make the protein powder drinks when you just use water, they're a lot they're not as thick, and those go through a little bit easier. But like the Premier Protein, they're a little bit thicker. And that and all the protein you eat, I think, builds up inside you, and your whole digestive system changes during this as well. So if you're used to, going to the bathroom, once or twice a day or whatever situation you're in, that drastically changes once you have this surgery. It switches out to sometimes you don't go for 2 or 3 days, and you can get a little constipated. And what I use for that is Purex, which is a generic form of the Miralax, the same kind of thing you drink when you go to have a colonoscopy, where it cleans out your system. You just get a little plastic jug like that. It's got a plastic top, and you pour the powder in that top and mix it in with some water or your Crystal Light Kool-Aid. You drink one of those a day, and you don't have any problems with it. So that pretty much takes care of that. The other thing that I've noticed that I saw in videos that I wasn't really sure I'd believed in, but now I do, is I get cold fast now, or easier. I never ever got cold. I was always wanting air conditioning as cold as it could be. Always hot. You go walk somewhere, you get kind of hot and sweaty. And now I've noticed, like, some nights I'll go to bed, we have our central air in our house on, and there's been a couple nights where I've had to get up, put shorts and a shirt on, and got back into bed because I was cold. And that just totally amazes me too, because like I say, normally, you're a big, huge guy, you're hot. And obviously that's because your fat cells have, disappeared a little bit, and you've gotten smaller. And I think that's going to go on with this forever, because you're obviously not as big as you once were, and you're losing some of your insulation. So that's probably all I'm going to talk about today. I don't want to sit and ramble on forever. It's probably already too long of a video right now. But that's some of the good, the bad, and the ugly, and I'll come back with a couple more videos as we go with that. But I am so happy that I've had this done. There's nothing that would ever make me regret having this surgery. I've seen videos where people get on there and they're crying and they're regretting it. They've gained weight, they throw up, they don't feel good. And I understand that if you don't feel good and you're throwing up, that's miserable. And that all eventually goes away, and you will lose weight. And in the end, I think those people are, after that happens, I think they're very happy with their decision of having the surgery, because it will eventually, the pounds are going to fall off regardless of how you go about it, I think, because you can only eat so much. And of course, if you just eat horrible foods like carbohydrates, chips and candy and that kind of stuff, pizza all the time, you're probably going to stay the same or even gain weight. And you just got to train yourself to not eat that way, which I have. And eating healthy foods is actually, well, it's good for you, obviously, and it makes you want to eat that more, because when you start losing weight and start dropping sizes in clothes, you feel fabulous. So anyways, I'm going to end that for now. I hope you guys enjoy these videos. Please like and subscribe to my channel. Leave some comments. I'd appreciate it. You can always email me if you have a question that you don't want anybody else to see. You can at the northsleeve@gmail.com. And that's about it. So I will end that here. This is the North Sleeve signing off from up in the land of 10,000 lakes. Everybody take care, and we'll see you soon. Bye.